Hi, my name is Erica Zua, and today I'll be talking about the Consultation project on dementia. So, my name is Erica Zua, and I'll be covering the topic on dementia. Dementia is a type of neurodegenerative disease that declines the cognitive, speech abilities, and primarily cause significant memory impairment that progressively worsens from aging. Affects about half the worldwide population, making it one of the leading causes of death for people past mid-50s, and also a major global epidemic and public health issue as we're speaking. In this presentation, I'll be discussing about social, systemic, and ethical issue, community living experience for role of caregivers, strategies and approaches in addressing these issues, and cognitive, physical, behavioral, and emotional impact to people living with dementia. Without further ado, let's first discuss about what does real-life experience in the role of caregiver in community-based services look like. According to my research, working with patients with chronic diseases or developmental disabilities in real-world experience can be drastically challenging depending on the consistency in long-term care facilitation and the security with their partnership community groups in funding and treatment supports. Other challenges also include the emotional, physical, and social drainage that can cause psychological harm between the caregiver and the patient if the issue is not addressed in advance or resolved properly. Working in a real-world community-based living or rehabilitation involves a lot of engagement and collaborations between partnerships of other organizations, working with the public healthcare teams, professionals, and specialists across the different fields of psychology. The collaborative approach between multidisciplinary teams to enhance community engagement and equity, maximize the client's outcome in extensive healthcare, and improve research in neurodegenerative diseases. Some of the key responsibilities of caregivers is to provide extensive support, effective primary plan, and also intervention evaluation. It is important to note when working as a caregiver role in community living space, working with patients with dementia involves a consistent, engaging, and continuous effort that involves networks of other healthcare teams and partnerships. Seek partnerships from other organizations with local health agencies or to also provide support strategies for caregivers. It is important that caregivers receive as much support needed as much as clients because they are technically the backbone within the healthcare system. The client's well-being relies on the codependence of their caregivers. Their well-being depends on the quality services for their clients, so it is important to ensure caregiver reach the same level of wellness as their clients. Some solutions are through self-care therapy, healthcare training, receive therapy and treatment, and there are also many local health organizations and community groups with partnerships that offers these services and provides accessible materials and coping strategies provided for caregivers and clients that are offered through their community programs and their partnerships. So, how do these community living programs facilitate their development in their community? What approaches or strategies do they apply? So one thing I discovered is called the engagement strategy. It is a systemic approach that breaks down to 3 different levels of engagement in community living based on the complexity of the situation and number of parties involved. It is intended to branch long-term trust between stakeholders, customers, and health teams in a proper professional manner to achieve their goal effectively, and also intended for public recognition to spread awareness of these public health issues. So The intermediate level, which is the highest level of engagement, involves the public attention from public health agencies or national health organizations. It is outlined by the Public Health Agency, the Public Health Center of Excellence, or Dementia caregiving to incorporate the voices from multidisciplinary groups of health professionals, representatives across healthcare team, and enhance collaborative engagement and extensive research. The macro level is the moderate level of engagement that engages within the system, engages within the health organization, and the micro level is the lowest level engagement that focuses only on the self-centered framework of the client. So one of the programs I research on is the EPLED, which is the CCNA. It is a prominent dementia support program called the Engagement of People with Lived Experience of Dementia, and they developed their own Alzheimer's research group that's closely associated with the Canadian Consortium on Neurodegeneration and Aging, aka the CCNA, which is Canada's national research program on dementia and Alzheimer's. So why? What's its purpose? Their purpose is to help reconstruct their frameworks and procedure guidelines, develop activities, share their perspectives, and spread awareness through their movement campaigns, through their movement campaigns and video projects in public health. Also, their main goal is to contribute to dementia research using lived experience, using shared experience and perspectives and the data collection surveys from these people with lived experience. Also, it's to improve their quality of life for the people under dementia on long-term by giving them long-term care and support caregivers, and also hopefully to find cure and overcome to the incurable disease. What's their aim to achieve and to promote? The public health agencies made some improvements by systemically integrating between major groups consisting of diverse communities, so every member has the chance to share their voices to motivate, inspire, and support others. It aims to foster social inclusion, equity, respect, and understanding towards every individuals that are unbiased by their differences in age, ethnic, and identity backgrounds. So how will they do this? What solutions can be accommodated for members of the lived experience of dementia to improve their community experience? Some dementia advisory programs have been raising awareness and highlighting the stigma and challenges individuals associated with dementia in community living, as well as sharing the experience and perspectives during their time in these advisory support groups. Using these values, perspectives, and experience could help contribute to dementia research and build effective treatments. One of the ways to raise awareness of these research disability programs is by sharing their perspectives and living experience in these research disability programs. Compensations, another solution is they provide compensation in prepaid expenses that are authorized depending on the individual's engagement level and their chronic illness level. If the individual does require unique needs, it is ensured that the CCNA and the Health Ministry provides prepaid expenses that covers on transportation fees, travel fees, and hotel service. Also, they might as well reimburse the cost of these fees. Accessibility and language and space are also supported through language learning programs, and the space and adapted in a friendly anti-sensory environment and accommodated for those with hypersensitive abilities. So the impacts. First of all, the cognitive impact. It limits their ability to perform executive functions like planning, organization, and multitasking. It causes a significant impair to memory, such as the short-term memory / working memory, episodic memory, semantic memory, and most importantly, the procedural memory. The procedural memory allows people to perform tasks and skills efficiently, but since the hippocampus is primarily severely damaged in people with dementia, it is almost impossible for them to perform tasks freely without guidance. The behavioral impact, their typical behaviors of dementia patients often involves agitation, restlessness, aggression, and compulsive tendencies from the combination of the cognitive, emotional, and physical deficits. They will also experience constant sleep disturbances, adding to their lack of motivation, and they will experience extreme fatigue during the major time of the day. They will often feel stuck in place. That's their minds. Like their mindset will be like they will feel stuck in place from their inner turmoil and ambivalent feelings, from constant fear and uncertainty. Emotional impacts. It's mostly linked to major depression, generalized anxiety, and other types of psychological disorders. They will also live in constant fear, often worrying where they left their belongings. These psychological disorders will contribute to a major decline in their lives, well-being, and their emotional state, hence building a loop of endless chain of uncertainty, express negative emotions, and overthinking, causing to further damage their well-being and plummeting their lives as a result. They may also feel apathetic due to the lack of motivation and interest towards their tasks and future goals as a result from their psychological problems, major depression, intense anxiety, and occasional episodes of emotional breakdowns, causing their brain to shut down. Their physical impacts. It includes reduced mobility, and they will inhibit stagnant behavior due to the significant mental and emotional decline, which involves additional support by caregiver to accompany them at all times, even for the smallest task, such as fetching water, because of their incoordination and cognitive impairment causes their movement to deteriorate as well. What are some social issues for people with dementia? It is highly stigmatized based on the current society beliefs and due to the stereotypes and myths. Mainly it emphasizes their shame in aging and albinism as social burdens, incompetence in workplace and community. They're often labeled as incompetent in workplace, community, and at home. Often discouraged to participate in community due to widespread misinformation. They are often beyond repair or already left dead because if their brain is progressively damaged by age. People also think it is unnecessary to invest medical supplies and an abundance amount because they are deemed incompetent. So people label them as the culprit to these. So why waste so much money on medical resources, money, and time on them? Furthermore, dementia patients in marginalized groups with suppressive social identities, such as black race or like gay or people with low economical class, are often discriminated from treatment support and community participation. So what are some solutions to these social issues? The recommendations examples are anti-oppression. Implement anti-oppression frameworks that encourages diverse groups to actively share their perspective in engagement activities in conference meetings, or share their stories and challenges and struggles with other people that also lives with the same disability. Implement engagement activities that foster social inclusion through the collaboration between diverse communities, allows members to share through open discussion in conference meetings to share their perspectives and experience on community living, create video projects to raise awareness initiated by people with lived experience and dementia, share their perspectives and stories. Using these valued perspectives and experience could help contribute to dementia research and build effective treatments. Another benefit the EPLED and CCNA provided are appointing specialized roles to marginalized individuals, which is a special role that allows them to speak alongside with one of the CCNA officials or the scientific director during closing sessions of meetings and conferences to make them feel more comfortable to voice their opinion in public space. Advisory groups are encouraged to share feedback, provide strategies or advice to research planning, answer inquiry questions through their learning experience. What are the systemic issues to people living with dementia? Inadequate and insufficient government funding. Due to the rapid growth in dementia cases, especially Alzheimer's as one of the major leading causes of death behind progressive chronic neurogenetic disease for older adults and seniors in worldwide population. It is currently 6th leading cause of death. So some community living services implements unethical practices, engagement activities, and services can pose psychological harm and reinforce discrimination, tokenism, and re-traumatization. Another issue is the lack of participation of members from advisory groups in conference programs and engagement activities, such as for example, the Aging Summer Program in Aging invites the advisory group members to participate in training sessions and discussions about EPLED experience and their future facilitation plan, but only 8 members participate in these activities, which makes it difficult to gather collective evidence-based data and feedback to contribute to their dementia research. So these are my references.